You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome to Let's Talk Business. My name is Kelly Bolton, and thank you for tuning in as we have the distinct pleasure of hosting our community's foremost leaders, entrepreneurs, and civic heroes. Today, we're going to be discussing a very special topic that will really hit home for many folks on our set, as well as in our audience today. We're going to be discussing how families can best prepare for college and future careers. I have a daughter who's about to graduate from college, so I remember very well the research we did to find the best fit for her based on her personal and professional interest. Fortunately, there are college and career counselors that can partner with you to help navigate this process. And today we have Germantown High School's very own Lashonda Norman, college and career counselor, with us today. And she's going to share how to best prepare for the post-high school journey. Lashonda, thank you so much for joining us. And it's such a pleasure to meet you face to face.
Thank you for having me.
I will tell you, before we get started, you have already touched my heart, because before we started filming, I was telling you what a great career you have, and that you get to make such a difference in these children's lives. And you literally said, oh my gosh, it gives me chills. I love my job. And how blessed you are to have that opportunity to really make a difference for these children. And, you know, and you told me that you were a science teacher before and worked for the district. So what inspired you? How did you get into college and career counseling?
In my previous time as a teacher, I found that I was talking to students more after school. I'm the teacher that would hang around till 4 or 5 o'clock, and students would hang out in my classroom, and we would just talk. And I'm saying, what do you want to do when you graduate? Tell me about that. Let me show you how you can do that. And my principal, Carolyn Hawkins Shaw, she said, I noticed that you're here a lot with the kids, you know, to 4 or 5 o'clock, and you guys are talking about college and career and all that stuff. What about, do you want to be a counselor? I said, no, I love being a teacher.
No, I love teaching.
And she said, I feel it in my heart that you're a school counselor. And she said, when you decide to do it, let me know, and I will make sure that I give you the space to do it. And I said, okay. And I went to the University of Memphis, and I pursued it, and it was the best decision mentally and career-wise
that is
I have ever made. And I just love to inspire. I love to talk about how do you get there, you know, and you can do it. And I'm the underdog is my favorite kid. You know, I don't think I can go. I don't think I can do this. Oh, yes, you can. Let's figure it out.
That is so cool. So you actually were teaching, and then you went back and got another degree?
My third degree.
Okay, well, tell me about that. So you got, tell me about your first and second and third degree.
So my first degree is in biology. I went back, funny story, in college, I was going to go to pharmacy school. I was actually accepted to pharmacy school, Xavier University. And I found myself teaching that summer, a part-time job, tutoring. And I went to my parents and I said, I love these children. And my mom was like, what? What do you mean you love these children? I said, I love teaching. I think I want to be a teacher. She was like, no, you're leaving. You're going to pharmacy school.
We've already made the plans, right?
No, I said, I really love this. So I contact one of my previous professors at Alcorn State University, and I said, hey, I heard about graduate assistants and all this, and I'm trying to find money to go to school. He was like, wow, I'm glad you called. I need a graduate assistant. I'll pay for it. I said, okay, I want to get my master's degree in education. And at the time, Alcorn State offered a degree in biology education. I was like, well, I love science, and I want to teach, so I'll do it. And that's how I became a teacher, and hired previously by Memphis City Schools, and taught at Hillcrest High School. That's where I was teaching physical science and biology. And that's when my principal approached me. She was like, I really think you're a guidance counselor, was the term back then. And I said, okay. And went back to school to the University of Memphis, got my EDS, and I'm a school counselor.
Very good. How long did it take you to get your EDS?
At the university, it was about 2 years.
So you're dedicated.
It was about
well,
2
I
years.
can tell you're passionate
Oh,
about it.
love
and
it.
you know, I don't know. I feel the same way. I feel like there's such a difference. I mean, you
Yes.
come to this, you know, right now kids have to go to elementary and, you know, high school, but after that there's choices.
Yeah.
And they hit that fork in the road. And, you know, the path that we choose can change the rest of our lives.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't, the path doesn't have to be directly to college. It can
true.
be to something else.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be to college, but getting that advice and guidance, and when you're 17, 18 years old, you don't know. And if your parents haven't been to college, if you're first generation, or your siblings, then to have an adult that has walked in your shoes,
Yes.
that can be approachable,
Yes.
is so nice. So maybe share with us the different paths post-graduation. I know college, what else? What else are the choices?
So in my process, I think I shock the students sometimes when I say, when we're talking about college and career, college is literally a plethora of things. And I tell students, if you decide that you want to go into the workforce, which we call career ready, if that's what you want to do, that job will require some type of training.
Right,
To me, college is learning anything post-secondary.
right.
So if you're working on a job and you have to go through a training, whether it's an OSHA certification or something to be a manager, that's college. You're learning something beyond high school.
Right.
So I tell students, you have that option. You can go directly to the workforce. You can go to a technical trade school because you may want to be a skilled person. You may decide you want to go to the military. You can do that. Some students want to go to a small liberal college, or they want to go to a grand university. So you have options. You can go directly to work. You can go to a technical trade school. You can go to the military, or you can go to a college or university. There are options available for you. And my job is to sit with you to navigate that process, because many students are first generation and they don't know the process. So I create a space and time to sit with them to help them figure it out and ask the tough questions they can't ask their parents.
Well, that's really, I think, a good way to look at it, where it's not overwhelming, because it feels like at 17 or 18 that I'm coming into, a college career counselor's office, and I've got to decide what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're a great example. You didn't know.
I didn't know.
You knew you liked science. You were going to be a pharmacist. Then you decided to be a teacher. And now
now
you're
I'm
a
a
career
counselor.
counselor. Now you're on a TV show. So, TV star. So I love that.
Yes.
I love that process. Do you give them anything in writing? Is there anything
Yes.
you show them,
Yes.
that kind of shows it?
Yes. So when they come in, we sit and I develop this rapport, and I tell them, I want you to be honest with me, because sometimes students make decisions based on what they've heard other family members do, or what parents have encouraged them to do.
Right.
And I would say, I want you to be honest with me, because I can help you merge what you want and maybe what others are recommending that you do.
That is that's a great idea.
So-
And I like that idea of the merge of the
Yes.
two.
Yes.
And let's pick up on this thought, because we're going to pause and take a break.
Okay.
We're going to take a short commercial break, so please stick around.
I chose band because I thought it was the coolest. I don't see myself like singing to a crowd or like really putting on a show for people other than like playing. And I feel like my horn is an extension of me.
The band here at Germantown High School offers many different varieties of instrumental music. We offer marching band. We offer concert band. We offer a jazz band, a jazz class. For IB students, we offer IB music.
The band is a very interesting environment. It's a lot different from anything else you'll get in high school.
My most memorable experience with the band has to definitely be the football games. They're fun, it's fully interactive.
Band not only teaches music, it teaches leadership, it teaches tenacity, it teaches the ability to stick with one thing until you achieve a goal.
It forces you to work with other people to get better, but then also it gives you an opportunity to test yourself against others, but with the support of others as well.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Business. If you're just tuning in, I'm Kelly Bolton, and today we have the distinct pleasure of talking with our guest today, Miss Lashonda Norman. She's college and career counselor at Germantown High School, and she's been sharing with us how students and their families can find the right fit, and we're about to talk about financial resources to make college the best experience possible. So, Lashonda, you were just telling us about, you know, you've got sometimes first-generation students, and they may, in their mind, think first generation post high school education. They may have an idea coming from mom or dad, what mom or dad has done, because they had not gone to school, and then mom and dad have their own opinions, or grandma, or you know, whoever it might be, and friends and family, and then they don't know what they want because they've never left the, you know, the four walls of the school, and just what they've seen on TV. And so you were saying you try to kind of help bring that together. Tell me a little bit more about how you do that.
Well, again, students, if they're first gen, and even if they're not first generation, as we call them, sometimes as parents, we have these ideas of what we think is the best fit for our students.
I was going to say, sometimes not first gen can be worse. If the parents have already been, they are real, like, I want you to go to my school and I want you to do what I did.
In this. Yes.
Exactly.
So, and the students would come in and say, well, I think I want to be a nurse. I said, well, you don't sound too confident about that. Can you tell me what you really desire to do? What is it that you want to do? You can wake up tomorrow, enjoy doing it, and it may not be what was recommended. And they would say, well, you know, I really want to go into finance. And I would say, okay, so are you ready to have that courageous conversation with your parents about how can we merge what they recommend and what you would like to do? And some of the students, Ms. Norman, I don't know how to start. And I may bring the parents in via Teams or phone conversation, and I would tell them, hey, I'm talking to so-and-so, and they are really good at math, and they love finance. And the student is considering finance. And the parent's like, oh, I never knew that. And I would say, so are you okay with that being a potential major? And the parents say, oh, yes, I just didn't know. I always thought you wanted to be a nurse because I was a nurse and your grandmother's a nurse. So, and I try to support students in having that courageous conversation with their parents about what is it they truly want to do. Because at the end of the day, they will become these young adults and they have to love what they're doing every day, or they will regret the decision that someone else recommended.
It's got to be their decision.
It's got to be their decision, yes. And I just walk them through the process, and then we start to look at post-secondary options that can help them become what they say, I truly want to do this.
Well, that's some good advice. And what about things like the tests that they have to take to get in school?
Yes.
ACT, SAT, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about, are colleges still viewing that the same way? And how do you help them prepare? Because I know when my daughter was preparing, I just finally threw it away the other day because I thought, you know, I don't know, maybe somebody would need it. But, you know, they were about this big. There were 2 books. One was this thing, one was it's a big books. It's a lot. You got to want it.
Yes, so most students take the ACT in 11th grade. The school district pays for them to take the test. And I use those scores if that was their first test and only test. And we can look at the scores, and I would say, hey, you know, this is your composite, but it looks like you really need to focus on math or reading or whatever. And I will go and pull the ACT standards and say, here are the standards for math. If you could just focus on these standards, you can increase your ACT score. And then I do have to have courageous conversations with students who want to go to their dream schools, but they may not at the moment have that score they need to enter that dream school. So we talk about options. I tell them we're going to reach for that school. That school is still on the list, but now let's talk about how can we add additional schools that we know you can meet the requirements for admittance, so we can ensure that you do have post-secondary options. So if they need support in ACT, we have several interventions. They can take ACT prep at the school. There are several ACT workshops outside of the school. We have Navient's ACT prep. We have March to Success, which is offered by the military. So it's a platform students can log on to and actually receive practice at their own pace.
And they just have to know about it.
They just have to know about it.
And so, you know, as I'm thinking about this, you said, and, you know, I'm blown away by this, and you're still smiling, and I'm thinking, oh, no. You are one high school college and career counselor for 500 students.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, you know, the students, I'm sure over and over again are being told, and I'm sure the students that are filming, I hope they're listening to every word we're saying, but they have to have some initiative to come and say, I want something past high school. And I want to make a decision of something I'm going to do when I graduate. And plan for it and make an appointment to come see you, because I'm sure you versus 500, you can't knock on every door.
I cannot.
So they have to come to you. So and so, you know, I think that's a good point for parents, because I've heard parents say, our college and career counselor didn't, you know, this and that. And, you know, when you think about it, you're one person. It's not your job to change their mind. They have to take advantage of the resources.
Absolutely.
No different than in life. We've got resources available to us. But I have to go to the doctor. The doctor doesn't just show up at my door. So I think that what I'm hearing you say, and then we'll take a break here, but it's that these students and parents have to know that resources are available, and they have to ask for them, find out how to get them, because it's not like it's being thrown down.
No.
Is that correct?
That's correct. So what I do, I literally treat the students, the seniors, as if they're already post-secondary students. We communicate via email. I have platforms where I post scholarships and college applications and anything post-secondary. And I have the students, I will say, hey, here's the link for you to schedule your meeting with me. You tell me what I need to know, so that when we sit, there's a form that I provide to them. It's electronic. They fill it out, tell me, Ms. Norman, I'm considered in the military, so when we sit for this meeting, I have resources available for you based on what you put in the survey.
So you've done your reaching out as much as you can, like these other college and career counselors do. But it's up to the student to take advantage. What is the saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it.
So what I initially do, I go into the classrooms. I go into all the English 4 classrooms, and I do that initial meeting. We talk about procedures, how we do this, how do you reach me, how do I request a transcript, how do we do this? And once we go from there, I tell the students, welcome to adult world. Now it's your turn to take part in this process. I would like for you to go home, have a conversation with your parents about post-secondary experiences. What does financial aid look like from a family's perspective? How much are the families willing to contribute? So that when we talk, we can talk about other options to make sure that college is affordable.
I think that is great.
Yes.
And we're gonna pick up on that topic. It appears we're going to cut for a short commercial break, so don't go away. We're going to continue to learn how you can plan for college and your career path.
I think that the visual arts really help students to develop a new vocabulary.
There's a lot of different ways that you can do art, so it's just a multimedia way of communicating and expressing yourself to other people.
At Germantown High School, we offer our introductory classes, which would be our Art 1 classes, Art 1 Honors, and then you would move up into Art 2, Art 2 Honors, and you can go towards the IB path, which would be what I teach, the International Baccalaureate Art classes, and we also have AP Art classes.
That's when you start being able to practice your skills on your own. So the skills that you learned freshman year, you get to start to kind of put them into practice and have a little bit more creative freedom.
At Germantown, we have, of course, all of the basic media, drawing, painting, all of that. But we can do a lot of printmaking. I do some fiber arts in my class, so we do, fiber design, fabric dyeing. We also have some sculptural media and processes that we explore through found object sculptures, some clay.
Even though I'm only a senior in high school, I feel like I'm a very sophisticated artist and ready to further that.
At some point in school, you're gonna have something that's gonna have to do with art. You're gonna have to make a poster, this, that, and the third, and you're gonna have these skills because you've taken this art class. You're gonna have new relationships with teachers that you might need later. It's just a big learning experience.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Business. So glad you could join us. Today we've had the pleasure of speaking with Lashonda Norman, College and Career Counselor at Germantown High School, as she provides valuable insight and tips for college and more. Lashonda, let's get straight to the point. Okay. How are we going to pay for this?
Great question. How we pay for this, we start with FAFSA. We all know that all students must complete the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. Now, most institutions they can offer you a scholarship, but they want you to complete the FAFSA, and some schools may want you to do a different type of form just to get an understanding of what families can contribute to the education.
So number one, FAFSA.
You have to do the FAFSA.
Do the FAFSA.
You have to do it. And I talk to students about affordability. I feel like if you can get that bachelor's degree or associate's degree or technical trade degree or certificate for free, that's even better.
Free is always better.
Right. And if you want to pursue a master's degree, then maybe that's where you would probably pick up some debt. But if we can get that undergraduate degree free, that's my goal. So I try to secure funding. I try to teach them about funding, Tennessee funding. We have the Hope Scholarship. We have the Wilder Nafee grant. We have TSAC available. Depends on your FAFSA. And some students may qualify for Pell Grant. It just depends on completing that FAFSA. And then we talk about, here's what we know that's available financially, and here's what your parent can expect to contribute after we look at your FAFSA and your academics and your GPA and ACT score. So we have a hard conversation about financial aid.
Well, I like what you're saying. So first thing is FAFSA.
First thing is
That's
FAFSA.
going to get you to these other things that'll kind of bring available to show what's available to you. And then I like the idea, I do financial planning, money management, of trying to do it for free.
Yes.
Because if you pay for it and you get out, it's really hard to pay your bills.
Yes, it is.
Pay your grocery bills, your gas, your utilities, your rent,
your car note,
insurance, the cell phone.
Yes.
And then pay off a student loan. It's very hard. So if you can get it for free, that's better. Do you think that if somebody is a good kid, making good choices in life, which is really important that our viewers listen, the parents, the kids, you got to make good choices.
You must make good choices.
If you make good choices and you get out, is it reasonable to assume that they can get some postgraduate degree without financially putting them strapped? Because I hear many times them say, I can't afford to do this.
Absolutely, yes. Some students may want to start off using the Tennessee Promise, which we know is a last dollar tuition scholarship. You can use the Tennessee Promise at Southwest or Christian Brothers or Lemoyne or Austin P. Some universities now take the Tennessee Promise school, but it is a tuition scholarship. Students will be responsible for room and board if that institution doesn't provide other merit-based scholarships for the students.
But if they live in Memphis,
But if you
they
live
can
in
stay
Memphis,
at home.
you can stay at home. You can go to the University of Memphis. They have the Memphis Promise. Well, as long as you are Pell Grant eligible, even if you only receive $1 from Pell Grant, they will cover the cost of your tuition.
Really?
Yes. So students
is
can go to
fabulous.
school at no cost. It requires.
So cost is not an excuse.
It's not an excuse. It is not an excuse.
And do you think that if you get a post-high school degree, I have my answer to the question, but a post-high school degree of some sort, whether it's technical training, college, 4-year college, 2-year college, or college and master's, do you think that you can make more money in the long run?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely, you can. I tell students that I teach them to live and not survive. When we sit to make a plan, this plan is at least 5 years. What will the next 5 years of your life look like? It must include some type of post-secondary experience, whether you're going to the military, technical trade, or university, something that will add quality to life.
I love
and you
that.
don't have to just survive. You don't. You
I
can
love that.
actually live if you put a plan in place, you follow the plan, and you use the resources that are available to you, you can definitely secure a very good life right here in the city of Memphis.
I love that.
You can.
I love that because I think that when you get out of school, and we've got about a minute left, so I'll say it and then I'll let you sum it up for us. But you know, you get out of school and you think, I'm going to get out of school and I can get a job and I can make, I'll say $15 an hour. And that's more money if you work 8 hours a day than they've ever had, because they're not working 8 hours a day. And all of a sudden they think, I'm going to be rich because I can work 40 hours a week for $15 an hour. And oh, wow, but they're not thinking down the road.
They're not.
So how would you like to wrap this up for our
I would
guests?
like to wrap this up for the guests, the parents, students. It is very important for students and parents to put a plan in place to make sure that your students are successful. And success can be career ready or technical trade, military. But I tell students you can't live for the first 5 years after high school. You have to live forever.
I
And
love
it's
that.
important that you put something in place, learn a skill, a trade, go to college, get a master's degree, get a doctorate degree, become a lawyer, a nurse, a doctor, a cosmetologist, whatever. But you have to have something in place to make sure that you are living and not just surviving. Because
That is
surviving is
awesome.
hard. It is hard.
Well,
So,
that is a
yeah.
great way to end it. I just want to thank you.
You're welcome.
Once again, I would like to thank Lashonda Norman for being with us today. We thank you for tuning in. To get more information on our show, you can check us out on the web at GHS-TV.org, or we're streaming live 24 hours a day. You can also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I hope you've enjoyed our discussion, and I hope you will join us again next month on Let's Talk Business.